It was August 14th, 1945, and George Mendoza and his girlfriend Rita Petrie were enjoying a movie at the Radio City Music Hall when the doors burst open with people entering the theater screaming the war was over. Indeed, Mayor LaGuardia announced the war was coming to an end and the lights in Times Square all lit up for the first time in 4 years. George and Rita joined the New Yorkers as they took to the square to celebrate a new era of peace and hope. Nearby, nurse Greta Friedman had just reported for work. She heard the news as well that Japan had surrendered and World War II was coming to an end. When she wandered out onto Times Square, she looked around at the sea of people celebrating this momentous event. Suddenly, she was grabbed and pulled around by a strange sailor who locked her into an unexpected embrace and sudden kiss. The sailor was George Mendoza of Newport, Rhode Island, on leave from the USS The Sullivans. His girlfriend Rita was just a little way away. Rita and George were unable to get into any bars and had decided to simply walk down the street along with so many others. George had begun grabbing random women left and right, kissing them, ecstatic he didn't have to go back overseas. Following George as he went from woman to woman was Life magazine photographer Alfred Eisenstaedt. He was walking in the crowd with his Leica 3A camera commissioned by Life magazine to bring back images of the celebration. He had been snapping away trying to find that perfect moment to sum up the events. Eisenstaedt recalled, "I saw a sailor running along the street grabbing any and every girl in sight. I was running ahead of him with my Leica, looking back over my shoulder, but none of the pictures that were possible pleased me. Then suddenly in a flash I saw something white being grabbed. I turned around and clicked the moment the sailor kissed the nurse. If she had been dressed in a dark dress, I would never have taken the picture. If the sailor had worn a white uniform, the same. I took exactly 4 pictures. It was done within a few seconds." Indeed, the contrast between the bright and dark uniforms is one of the things that makes this image so noticeable and memorable. VJ Day in Times Square, or The Kiss as it is also known, ran in Life magazine 1 week after it was captured and forever became known as Alfred Eisenstadt's most well-known photos. Eisenstaedt actually took 4 frames of this particular kiss, but ended up picking the one where the nurse's arm is parallel to the sailor's arm. There are a couple of images where it looks like she's hitting him in the face with a closed fist to get him off of her. In fact, because this was an impromptu kiss between 2 strangers, it's now being viewed as problematic. This is, of course, when you view it through the lens of presentism or judging past events based on modern norms. Friedman later said in an interview, "I felt he was very strong. He was just holding me tight. And I'm not sure about the kiss because, it was just somebody really celebrating. But it wasn't a romantic event. It was just an event of thank God the war is over kind of thing," adding that, "It wasn't my choice to be kissed. The guy just came over and kissed or grabbed me," she said. It should go without saying that acts should be judged in the context of times and situations of when they happened. Friedman had later said she never viewed the event as any form of sexual abuse, but people being caught up in the times. We now know their thoughts on the matter, but back then the identities of the 2 subjects were a mystery. Eisenstaedt didn't bother getting anyone's name after taking any photos. Once the photo took on a life of its own, revealing the identities of the sailor and nurse proved extremely difficult. As you can see, their faces are hidden. For decades, many couples entered the offices of Life magazine claiming to be the famed pair. To figure out the identity, 3 astrophysicists examined a connection between sunset and Manhattan and the clock position. With this and the testimony of many eyewitnesses, many pairs were turned down as the true couple. The mystery was finally solved in 2012 when a new book, The Kissing Sailor, was published. Photographic analysis by the Mitsubishi Electric Research Laboratories, along with matching up the tattoos and scars of the sailor, the identities of Mendoza and Friedman were confirmed to be the legitimate pair. In addition, the identity of Rita Petrie, who eventually married Mendoza, was confirmed in the background of the image. Friedman died at age 92 in 2016 in Richmond, Virginia. She is buried beside her husband, infantryman Misha Friedman, at Arlington National Cemetery. Mendoza died in 2019 at the age of 96 after a seizure while living in an assisted living facility in Rhode Island. His daughter recounted her father talking about the famous day. He said when he saw the nurse, it reminded him of nurses on a hospital ship he saw care for wounded sailors. Quote, "I had quite a few drinks that day," he said, "and I considered her one of the troops. She was a nurse." The image was featured as a full-page spread in Life magazine as it captured the joy and relief of that historic day. In a series of images called Victory Celebrations, it became a cultural icon overnight and a symbol of the triumphant victory over the Axis powers of World War II. The image has appeared in various forms of pop culture as well. A parody of it appears in an episode of The Simpsons where a boy in a sailor outfit kisses Lisa Simpson. After the photo is snapped, she slaps the boy, exclaiming, "Knock it off." It's been seen in various forms in such movies as Night at the Museum, Watchmen, and Letters to Juliet, to name a few. Alfred Eisenstaedt died at the age of 96 in 1995. He was an incredible photographer and took many amazing pictures in his time. However, he believed the kiss to be the best shot in his career. Of all the photographs taken during that turbulent time, none remains more emblematic than Eisenstadt's. Before his death, Eisenstaedt stated, "People tell me that when I'm in heaven, they will remember this picture."